New York stirred awake beneath the gray veil of early autumn skies. Fog curled over the Hudson, and the city resembled a ghost town waiting for the first breath of the day. In the narrow streets of Soho, heels struck the cobblestones in steady rhythm, while the scent of freshly ground coffee drifted through the weathered doors of old cafes. On the fourth floor of a worn brick building, James Keller was roused by the insistent ring of his alarm. His apartment was immaculate, sterile, almost lifeless. No clutter, no warmth. The air carried only the faint traces of bleach and coffee. James thrived on order. Chaos reminded him of the past he had spent years burying. He rose, shoulders tight with tension, and glanced at the laptop on his desk. Unread messages blinked at him. One subject line made his heart stutter. Emerson. He's back. Your time is running out. Emerson. A name James had tried to erase for more than a decade. A name that had always meant danger. He reached for a worn black notebook, the ledger of every covert operation he had ever carried out in the shadows. His hands trembled, though his face betrayed nothing. This day would not be ordinary. The past he had fought to conceal was bleeding into the present, and James knew, if he didn't move fast, the fallout would be catastrophic. The office buzzed with its usual chaos. Colleagues darting between cubicles, flipping through reports, answering phones. James remained still, lost in thought. His phone vibrated endlessly on the desk, but he ignored it. Calls could wait. The past could not. A knock broke the silence. Michael stepped in, tall, broad-shouldered, always grinning, even when the entire office teetered on the edge of collapse. "James, the director wants you in the conference room. Says it's urgent." James nodded, his chest tightening. The director never called without reason. The shadows of his past were no longer behind him. They were here, intruding on his present. In the conference room, a live feed flickered across the massive screen. A man moved through a server room with uncanny precision. James's blood ran cold. He knew those movements. They were his own. "Who is that?" the director demanded. "I can't say for certain, but the technique is familiar," James said carefully, masking the panic. "Whoever it is knows my playbook." The message was clear. Someone was pulling him back into a game he had long abandoned. The following days were a blur of tension. James scoured camera feeds, files, contacts. Every detail could be a clue or a snare. He turned to Lena, a former partner from the shadows. They met in a small cafe on Broadway, where the rich aroma of coffee mingled with memories better left buried. "James, you're cornered again," Lena said softly, not meeting his eyes. "This isn't a corner. It's a hunt," he replied. "And I don't know yet if I'm the hunter or the prey." Together they began untangling the threads. Someone had infiltrated the servers, leaving traces too deliberate, too precise. This wasn't a random hacker. It was someone who remembered every one of his moves. Night after night they pored over maps and notes, retracing steps, tracking suspicious movements, piecing together a timeline. Every unknown message was a warning. Every detail, a trap waiting to be sprung. Manhattan became a battlefield. James moved through its dark streets with sharpened instincts, eyes scanning every passer-by. Streetlights carved long shadows that merged with his doubts. Every stranger could be an enemy. Then came the anonymous message. Your past never sleeps. Soon, the world will see your true face. The choice is yours. The words cut like a blade of ice. Someone knew about his double life and intended to use it against him. James reverted to the habits that once made him the best. Old signals, hidden routes, invisible trails. In this city of millions, every contact mattered, every shadow could kill. Piece by piece, the truth took shape. This wasn't random. It was orchestrated. A former colleague, someone who had stayed invisible all these years, was pulling the strings. The plan was flawless. Broken systems, planted evidence, blackmail, perfect timing. All designed to push James over the brink. He stood at the edge of the abyss, but he wasn't about to fall. He would fight with cunning, psychology, and the old tricks that had once kept him alive. The final confrontation came on a rooftop. Wind drove clouds across the night sky as the streets below glittered with lamps. James faced his enemy and recognized him. His double. A former partner, once his shadow, now stepping out into the light, eager to take James's place. You can't hide forever, the double sneered. And you'll never be me, James said coldly. Their battle was more than physical. It was a war of minds, every strike and feint loaded with memory and meaning. When it was done, James stood on the rooftop, gazing at the restless city. Neon bled into the night shadows, forming a kaleidoscope of light and dark. Even in the deepest night, there was always a path to dawn. The past was not gone, but it was his to command now. And James was ready for the life ahead, one where every move was calculated and every shadow answered to him.